Good morning and welcome to Thursday Morning Coffee Break with DCE Law. I'm Deborah Sermonaro Eldridge. I'm the attorney and owner of DCE Law. And today I wanted to talk about branding for success. And when I say that, I'm also talking about branding from an organic standpoint. And when I say organic, I mean talking about you, talking about who you are, your personality, and how you want that to shine through in your branding. Because what I find, and I have the utmost respect for social marketers, for social marketing coaching, I think it's absolutely wonderful. But I think that we have to start with us. And I had this conversation with my dear friend Rachel Sartain Tenpenny a few weeks ago, and we were talking about branding because I have branding for my law office, and a lot of that has to do with the color purple too, because I love the color purple, which just so happens to also be the color for the legal system for law. And but also I have my professional individual brand. So for Deb Sermonaro, which also infuses purple, but in a different way. And so the point of talking about branding from a little different standpoint, from an organic standpoint, is to talk about the importance of branding from the standpoint of you. Because you are your brand, and your personality for your brand is going to shine through in the way that you want it to. And what I mean by that is we wear different hats throughout our life, right? When in just at any given moment, I sometimes for my individual branding or my individual professional pages, you'll see different things. You'll see my DIY projects. You'll see my gluten-free cooking. You'll see my empowering women. But around all of it and at the forefront, the top of the tier is me. And at that top of the tier of all of the other things that I do, from my law practice to my DIY girl to all of those other things, my whole purpose is to empower people and to empower women in particular. And when I look at doing so, I also look at women who are coming out of traumatic situations, with whether it's a traumatic business situation or career situation or a personal situation, and getting women to the point where they feel like they're now empowered and they can do this. They can do anything that they put their mind to. And so when I look at what I want to put out there and for people to see, I want them to get that feel. I want them to know that anything is possible and that you can do anything if you put your mind to it. And so when you're looking at your brand, it's not just about the colors and the white space that you have and the font and the logo and the name, which is very important, definitely. But it's also about your personality and knowing yourself. So you have to know yourself. You have to feel comfortable in your own shoes, standing wherever you are at any given time. Is that always easy? No. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, absolutely. Every moment of every day, I know who I am and what I'm doing. No, we all go through those periods where we're not necessarily so sure of what we're doing and where we're going, but we have an overall sense of self and who we are. And that's what you're going to be pushing out with your brand. You have to remember that. So you have an idea for something, but how you're going to push that out, and even in deciding who your audience is going to be, is going to depend on who you are and what you have experienced in life and where you want to look to the future. And all of that's going to come through with how you can help and service others. And so I wanted to come on and talk about that today because, I'm always talking about the legal aspects of it. Yes, we do need to trademark your name. Yes, we do want to trademark your logo. Yes, we want to make sure that we have things done from a legal standpoint in branding you. But you also have to know who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, you're not going to be able to get to the heart of your brand. And also, very important, is you're not going to know who you want to help. I don't like the word target because you're not targeting people, but you're looking at where's your niche Where is your niche? Who are you? Who do you want as your ideal customer, client, or audience? Who is that? Who are you talking to? Well, you have to know who you are, right? You have to know what your mission is for you. Because once you get to that point and you know that, you'll be able to better understand who you want to target and how you want to target them. And then that's where your social marketing coaches come in. That's where your social media coaches come in. And then if they help you to refine that and push that out in the way that is going to best engage people. And that's part of all of this. Because if you have all of these different things going on, and I was watching a reel by Virginia Kerr, she is the owner of This Is Video School. And I just absolutely love her. She really puts things in perspective and is very pragmatic with her approach and yet very creative. And so I have followed her for a very long time. I've taken her course. It is absolutely wonderful, and I can't say enough good things about it. But one of the things that she was saying the other day is the fact that if you go onto somebody's social media page, whether it's TikTok, whether it is Instagram or Facebook, especially IG, you have all of those sections where they're pinned with information that will lead you into that content. And there's a look and feel for it. But if you're all over the place because you haven't figured yourself out yet, that's going to come across in your page, and people aren't necessarily going to engage with you. That's something that I've had to learn as well, with regard to DCE law. Where am I going with this, and what do I want to achieve? And in the end, I want to empower women. I especially want to empower women who have been in an abusive situation with a sociopath, narcissist, other toxic person. I want to empower them, and I want that to come across, but not just empower them from the standpoint of standing on their own 2 feet and deciding to leave the situation, but empowering them to create their own business, to create a life that they want for themselves. That's what I want people to see and feel when they come onto my page. And I see all of these people with divorce coaching who don't even have credentials and things of that nature to be doing that. And part of what I'm trying to achieve here is also coaching women through the process of what they're going through. And even men, because I do have male clients as well, but we're coaching our clients through the process. It's not just, hey, I'm just here to do a job, just let me get, that's it. No, you have to coach through the process. And I will tell you that many of my clients end up also becoming friends because I am helping them through the process. I'm not just kind of leaving them out there on their own and just saying, hey, I'm just here to do your job and get you through the process. No. So you have to think about that, and that needs to come across in what you're offering. Whether, if you're being disingenuous, in other words, if you're looking at somebody else and you're saying, I like what they're doing, I want to do that, I want to be that person, that's great. That's something to strive for, but you have to remember that it has to be your genuine self. Because if you're disingenuous, then people aren't going to follow you because they're not going to feel what you're trying to, the purpose or the mission that you're trying to get across to them, and the service that you're offering them, because it's not necessarily you. So think about your service and what it is that you want to offer them, your service, your products, whatever they are. On a professional level, again, I'm all about empowering from the standpoint of my individual professional page. Again, empowering women, letting them see how they can redefine themselves, how they can restructure their lives, products that help them get to that point and stage in their life, as well as providing them with an outlet to help them get to that next stage in their lives. So I just want to say to you today, and this isn't a long breakfast bite, or coffee break, but I want to say to you to take some time to really think about what message you want to send by starting with calming yourself and getting to a point where you can decide who you are and therefore what it is you have to offer and how you can help others, and in your branding get that point across to them. Because let me tell you, there are hundreds of thousands of life coaches out there now. There are hundreds of thousands of business coaches. There are so many social media coaches and so many good ones. And when we talk about branding too, and we talk about your name, I also want to mention that people shy away from names. They're like, oh, that's too long. That's too this. That doesn't tell me what you are, who you are, whatever. Here's the point of trademarking and branding. You are creating your original brand. I am Deb Sermonaro for my individual professional brand. And I am DCE Law for my law office. That's my name for that. If anybody, if any of you know the name Martin Scorsese, right? Who doesn't really know that name? That is probably closer to my age group anyway. Very famous director, incredible professional in the movie industry. You know that name, right? There are so many names like that. Until Oprah Winfrey made her name famous, nobody knew who Oprah Winfrey was. Until Lady Gaga made Lady Gaga famous, nobody knew who it was. So it's not about shortening your name. And I could go on and on. There are many professionals out there who have longer names, but yet people know who they are, remember that name, and it sticks with them. So don't be so concerned about finding a catchy name. Don't be so concerned about finding a name that is going to explain what you do. Don't be as concerned about shortening your name and making it short, because you know what? I was having this conversation with my girlfriend, Rachel, again, a friend of mine, Rachel, at dinner a few weeks ago. And we were talking about, how are you going to market yourself as Deb Sermonaro? As Deb Sermonaro. I mean, that is my URL. That is who I am. I'm going to market as Deb Sermonaro. People will learn who Deb Sermonaro is. That's the whole point of trademarking. And I think that we forget that sometimes, because with branding, the whole point of it is that you start with whatever your name is, as long as that name is available. Remember, you got to check with the Patent and Trademark Office to make sure it's available first, then with your Secretary of State's office, Division of Corporations or Business in your state, whatever it is, check and make sure that name is available. But my point is, it's you. You are that person. You are that entity. You are going to make that name known. And that's the point of this. You're going to make yourself known. So don't worry about having necessarily a catchy name. Don't worry about whether it's something that people are going to tune into like that. Don't worry about it, because you know what? You are your brand, and you are going to make you whatever you want it to be. Okay? Have a great rest of your Thursday, and I will see you live online next week. Take care. Ciao.